Turnpike, Waldeck, New Jersey, where we are now, by the municipal clerk sent to the Bergen Record. Additionally, to the extent known, in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the agenda for this meeting and whether formal action will be taken were posted in the Administration Building, in this building, as per PL 2025C72, was also posted on our official borough website, www.waldecknj.gov, meeting dashboard. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Giordano.
I am here.
Ms. Sarah Cola-Drake. Here. Mr. Martinello.
Here.
Mr. Ritchie.
Here.
Ms. Smith. Here. Ms. Wingate.
Here. Everyone kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us have a moment of silence for all our Waldeck veterans and all veterans across our country who have given the ultimate sacrifice to serve our country, to die for our freedom, so that we are allowed to assemble the way we are today. The clerk, please do the prayer.
We thank you for everyone gathered here now. Thank you that you know each of us by name and have caused us to walk with you. We say that we are dependent on you and our trust is in you completely. As we surrender ourselves in adoration, we ask that you would come by your Holy Spirit and inspire our hearts today. Come fill our lives with your love, fill our conversations with your grace and truth, fill this meeting with your presence. We ask this for your glory and praise. Amen.
Amen. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our meeting tonight. There's no proclamations or presentations. Under my report, I would like to thank the members of the council who attended the Memorial Day ceremony. I would also like to thank the members of the council who attended the 250th lecture with the Waldeck Public Library here in Waldeck. The lecture was with George Washington, New Jersey, in the Revolutionary War. I would like to thank everybody who came to the Municipal Alliance's car show. Chuck, you did a great job as usual. I want to thank you for that. Also, I will be attending the ECLC in Hohoka's graduation ceremony. There'll be 6 young adults graduating from their high school. And also tomorrow night, if weather permits, we will have our first concert, Blues Chambers, which is a resident of our borough. Also, starting next month, we will all be wearing our blue shirts. Mike, thank you for doing it. Katie, thank you for doing it.
She didn't get the memo.
It's supposed to be in June, but
I'm ready for
a
summer.
technical difficulty, it's the way it is, but I took my jacket off.
I apologize, thank you.
No, you don't have to apologize. Everything's all right. But we will be wearing our blues our dress blues in June and until September. Also, starting next meeting, which is in June, the beginning of the meeting, before, under my report, instead of me doing a report, I'll wait for a new business. Our finance chair will be talking to us about our finances and talking to us about our budget and talking to us about everything to do with finances. So if anybody wants to know anything about how our money is being spent and what's going on, tune in and look at the meetings if you're not here, or come to the meeting. Everything will be open for everyone to know. We are very transparent on what we do. People might think we're not, but we are. And that's how we're going to handle it moving forward. That's all I have to report right now. Financial Administrative Committee, Mr. Martinello.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So last week, Finance Committee continued to work on its negotiations for the pilot program. We met internally to discuss the latest negotiations, which are still in progress with the developer. We remain focused on securing the best possible agreement for the town, and will continue to work diligently toward that goal. In addition, the administrator and clerk have been working with the Board of Education to schedule a meeting, gone back and forth on numerous dates with availability tough with professionals from the financial advisor, attorneys, everybody who works different jobs. So we're still working to get a date that works for everyone. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in the next few days here. On tonight's agenda, we'll be approving 2 leases for 2 new police vehicles. These vehicles were included in our 2026 budget process and will allow the department to retire and auction off 3 older vehicles. The funds for those leases will come from Police Vehicle Fund, not from any capital fund, so it's separate and earned income from our police department as they work for overtime jobs in other municipalities or for PSE&G, things that are Jobs for Blue, I think it's called. So those funds are paying for those vehicles as they do a great job in replenishing that on a monthly basis. Finally, you'll see on tonight's agenda the certification of our audit report, which was completed successfully. As always, there's a couple of small findings, which the CFO has addressed in there, but nothing material, with clean opinion as always, with great financial records. And that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Fire Police Protection Committee, Mr. Brenning's not here tonight. His grandchildren are at a summer concert, and as we always took an active role, our families come first. He asked me if he could be excused, and I said no problem, so he'll report back to us at our next meeting. Public Safety Committee, Ms. Wingate.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have just a few updates from Wallback. So I spoke with Lucas, and they he wanted to give a dollar amount to some of the calls that they've been taking to show the savings that it saves the town. So, for example, in May, they did take 19 calls, which is an approximate savings of $20,000. So we thank them for that, and that's such a huge help to the town. Some of the events that they had recently were the car show and Crescent Day, and they went off without any incidents, so we thank them for being there. Coming up, we have the high school graduation and the junior PD, which they plan on organizing with the events, the event coordinators to make sure they can be on standby. And I just had a quick update for the Board of Education meeting.
Sure.
So I see some of the Board of Education meeting, or Board of Ed members are here. So just wanted to update the council that there was a lot of talk about the fees for using the fields, and there's a lot of debate going around about that. So someone did bring up why doesn't the town run the fields? And my understanding is that and it was mentioned last night that the fields are owned by the school, so it's a little bit different from other towns, but that's why we don't or control or run the fields. So there's a lot of debate about that, so I recommend anyone that's interested in that to attend the Board of Education meetings. They are going to discuss it more, and they have tabled that for August. And then there was mention of the pilot program, and as Councilman Martinello said, that we are trying to work on that meeting, and there was some talk of why are we going to have the meeting? It's not to explain a pilot, it's just to make sure that we're all on the same page and to make sure that we have the best possible pilot, if that is what's going to happen for the town. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, at the car show, I had to buy 2 mugs from the ambulance corps. Hot and cold mugs. They work.
I might have to get one then.
Yep, they
I'll
work.
ask Lucas about it.
Yep. Recreation and Health Committee, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, we've had a really busy month coming into June. One thing I wanted to thank Bruce and Joanne Mitchell and the Friends of the Public Library for the event the other night with Joe Farkas. It was really engaging and fun and well attended. And Joel he's a retired U.S. Army officer, and he worked as a docent at the Morristown, Washington headquarters. So he gave a wonderful presentation about how crucial New Jersey and Washington were to the Revolutionary War effort in this state, and it really opened my eyes. And I'm a history buff, but I learned a lot. So thank you so much for supporting that event. And then we had the car show. I don't think I have to say too much other than thank you to Chuck and all the volunteers who were there. I think it was a great day and good weather, and it's always a great event. Brings lots of people together. And Mr. Mayor, did you purchase any cars?
My wife tried it, but I said no.
Yes, the Mayor already mentioned the concert tomorrow night. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be there, but I think the weather is going to hold out for Blues Chamber to play at Borough Park. Bring your blankets and your chairs, and it should be a really good night of music. Our second one will be Tim Geisen, and that happens in August. And then, just highlight a couple of things that are going on at the library. I think I mentioned this before, but I probably said the word wrong. People are going to be there, I think her name is Christine, to make a dog, if you bring your dog, she will actually make caricatures, I can't say that word, of your dog. And you do have to call for space. It's on the 13th of June to be able to make an appointment for that to happen. Also on June 16th, we are having another caffeine and conversation, and I encourage everybody, it is in the middle of the afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30, but it was well attended in May, and that's another one of our residents, Megan Beasy, who established that. And so far, she got a second, call back to be able to keep going. So I would encourage everybody. And also congratulations, I know I'm going to leave some sports team out, so I'm just saying congratulations to all our Waldwick athletes from all levels for their achievements as we wrap up the spring semester and head into summertime. The boys baseball team, I know, got to the sectional final, and it was a pretty close game. Unfortunately, they did not come out on top, but congratulations especially to the boys for their, and the girls softball team, I think, got to the semifinals. If I'm correct, Joe? Joe even knows more than I do, so. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, Mr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. So just a few updates. I think the microphone's not working so well, so I will project. Thank you. So I just wanted two quick things. I've been on the Finance Committee for a few years now. I've never seen us so active. And we literally meet weekly to discuss all things kind of finance and administrative in the town. It's been a really good cadence. We kind of discuss things, present them to the council, and so there's a continuous look into how we can solve some of the budget issues. But then also there's the pilot. Everyone keeps talking about, and I imagine with some of the folks in the crowd tonight, we'll be talking about it later. But hopefully we'll have an update we can talk about later. So I just want to say thanks to Council President and obviously Tatiana. They've really been spearheading a good Finance Committee. So all is well there. On the Public Works side, I do apologize. A few times folks have come up and asked about the Sewer Authority. Those are meetings where I haven't been here. I promise on the first time it was brought up, I was on the phone. It was like 2 a.m. in England, but I was on the phone. The second time, I missed it. And so I think, just to kind of touch on that for a second, anyone who's concerned, I think, has a right to be concerned. When I think the mayor saw that I had a concern in the Sewer Authority, the sewage that we're treating in town, and put me as a liaison, we immediately met with kind of senior folks within the Sewer Authority at this location and like throughout the county, right? So we tried to get as high as we could on the food chain. I think the both of us were fair but firm with the Sewer Authority that we were concerned, not so much about the smell. The smell is atrocious, and it can ruin barbecues and coffee in the morning, and it's not fun. But we really expressed our concerns about the potential health hazards and kind of what do we not know. We don't know what we don't know, and if you can smell the Sewer Authority, who knows what you're breathing. So I think we were very fair with them. We were firm that we were looking for a response to that, and then patient for a few months, waiting for a response. 2 months went by, and follow-up email led to, unfortunately, we're not prepared to give you a response yet. And I have to admit that I thought we were very clear in that meeting that we wanted to move this quickly. So, so we'll continue to press, but I think the one thing that we really need is for the residents to just continue speaking up about this. I don't think that they necessarily want the bad press. I don't think that most people in town even know what it is down there, and that we have no control over it. We are completely not in control of the raw sewage that is being filtered through our town. But it's happening at very high frequencies. That's what you smell when you drive by it. And I think that we really need them to address this for safety reasons more than anything. But if I'm emailing them and the mayor and I are meeting with them, once a quarter, that's not going to move that's not gonna move anything. That's just two people, right, who are, making an annoyance. We really need the community to speak up, whether it be on Waldwick United or sending emails out. There was a petition, right, that was circulating last year. We need everybody, all hands on deck here, the whole community, to get involved. If we're going to make any change down there, it's going to be because everyone here is starting to ask why and what's happening. And I think that there's just no political divide here. We all need to come together on this and figure out how to put the pressure on them. So we will continue to kind of, I think, direct that. But we really need your help. So on the sewer authority, that's what's kind of happening there. And I guess I'll end my report on that, Mayor. Thank you for the time.
Building and Grounds Committee, Ms. Sarah Cola-Drake.
Thank you, Mayor. Unfortunately, we're having an issue with a condenser on the second floor of the administration building. A contractor was there today and will be providing a quote for the repair, so I'll keep you all updated. I also just want to thank Kelly and the Borough Administration for successfully completing another primary election. It was great to receive the prompt county committee results because those aren't available on the website, like you can check everything else. So I appreciate the accuracy and hard work as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Our clerk will be speaking for the administrative assistant.
I actually don't really have much of a report.
Okay.
I really don't have a report.
Okay.
Actually, I do have one thing to say. The primary election went off really without a hitch, and that's really because of the outstanding board workers we have here in Waldwick. They really are top-notch. We are one of the few towns who we have so many, and for these types of elections, it can be a long day because it wasn't as busy. But we keep bringing them back because there are, general elections that get pretty swamped. So I just want to thank all of them, and especially our super board workers for all their hard work with this election. Again, they did a fantastic job. Our PD we were able to put everything together at night and get the police department down there to bring our returns down. So I appreciate everyone's efforts. DPW was great, helping us set up and then breaking everything down and then putting it back up before 10 o'clock on the next day. So thanks to PD and to DPW as well. That's all I have for that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Our attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report this evening. There will be one item for closed session on contract negotiations for about 15 minutes.
Is that to do with, what is that to do with? Because I was told to recuse myself?
You are.
Yes.
I'll be recusing myself,
Thank
and
you.
I will be turning it over to our council president. Thank you. Consent resolutions and resolutions of the governing body.
Be it resolved that the following resolutions herewith listed by consent, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Waldwick, are hereby passed and approved. 2026-173, approval of consent. 2026-174, approval of minutes, regular meeting and closed session meeting, May 12, 2026, and regular meeting of May 26, 2026. Policy votes. A, the Waldwick Chamber of Commerce requests to turn the town's heel for the month of September for Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, as per their letter dated May 27th. B, Jessica Colucci requests to use Pavilion A on August 15th from 1 to 6:30 for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages. C, Teresa Impemba requests to use Pavilion B on September 13th from 12 to 6 p.m. for a family reunion with alcoholic beverages being served. D, the appointment of Christine Haddad as senior member of the Waldwick Volunteer Fire Department. 2026-175, authorizing annual appointment of municipal representatives to the Bergen County Community Development Regional Committee for the fiscal year 2026-2027, period covering July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. 2026-176, authorized waiver of permit fees for the Waldwick Public Library for the installation of a gazebo. 2026-177, award fair and open contract to All-American Ford of Paramus for the lease of the 2026 Ford Expedition vehicle in the total amount of $70,659.60. 2026-178, award a fair and open contract to All-American Ford of Paramus for the lease of a 2027 Police Interceptor utility all-wheel drive vehicle in the amount of $49,559.81. 2026-179, authorized liquor license renewal for Ital India LLC. 2026-180, approval of raffle license 2026-04 to the Waldwick Baseball Association for an on-premise draw. 2026-181, approval of raffle license 2026-05 for the Waldwick Lions Club off-premise 50/50. appointment, 2026-182, appointment of 2026 pool lifeguards. 2026-183, accept the resignation of part-time clerk typist Deborah Lyon. 2026-184, appointments for clerk 1 for recreation. 2026-185, certification of the annual audit. 2026-186, approval of corrective action plan. 2026-187, authorizing the Borough of Waldeck's tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with Public Law 1994, Chapter 72. 2026-188, payment of vouchers.
Do you have a motion and a second to accept? Motion by Joe, second by Mike. Anyone have a question? Nope. If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Ms. Sarah Coladrake?
Yes.
Oops. Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Wingate?
Yes.
Okay, we have a couple of public hearings.
Yeah.
Clerk, kindly read ordinance number 2026-07.
Ordinance number 2026, numbers 7, an ordinance to amend Chapter 63, Park and Ride Lots in its entirety.
Anyone from the council would like to comment on this ordinance that was just read? No one?
I'll make a comment. I saw a lot of the emails that came in with concern about this, and I spoke with Kelly, and I think that the fact that we haven't raised the prices in like 20 years is something that we need to remind everyone about, because obviously inflation and the cost of living has gone up over 20 years, so I think that that was an important point to note.
Thank you.
Anyone else? And also, just keep in mind that we don't own that lot. It's owned by Jersey Transit, and we don't have a say on who goes in there and what people go in there. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. Unfortunately, we'd love to have all our Waldeck residents have first come, but we can't do that because it's not our lot. Anybody else?
I can add. I think also an important thing that's come out of this is that the lot has been underutilized for a number of years, really since COVID. And we have the demand of both residents and non-residents has remained steady. And for as many people who are upset that we're not doing an annual permit anymore, we're getting just as many, if not more, calls telling us that the daily parking has to be the way to go because they can't use a lot. They're pulling up to a lot that's 3/4 of the way empty, and we can't have that. We need a lot that is being used by everybody who can use it. So we have to open the lot to everyone. We can't just give preference to Waldeck residents because we don't own the lot.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit more to that, Mr. Mayor. Look at some pure math when we look at that. When you do some research about commuters who travel from North Jersey to New York City, the majority of those go to New York about 3 days a week. There are some exceptions where they go 5 days a week, some that go only 2 or 1. So that's about $12 a week. And when you look at average people who are working in New York City, you're probably talking about 48 weeks, not 52 when you take into vacations, holidays, and whatnot. So when you do that math, it's about $576 for those days compared to where we were at $250. And as Councilwoman Sarah Coladrake said, we haven't raised that price in many, 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 many years. And you compare it to Hohokus, which is very similar to us in terms of proximity on the rail line, their annual pass is $500. So we're very much in line. And how that anecdotal evidence kind of is proved out. When you go look at the train station on a daily basis, it's sometimes half, sometimes 2/3 full, even though we have 150 parking spots sold or oversold, but we have another 150 people who are on the waiting list who can't use it. So now we'll be able to serve more people. And we look at the numbers even a little further, about 60% of those 150 licenses that are sold for those spots are Waldeck residents, so about 90 people. And then we have about another 70 people who are on the waiting list who are Waldeck residents, who get turned away because they can't park there. Now they will at least have fair opportunity, and on those days where people are not commuting to work, they can use that lot. And it also opens up a municipal lot for us, not right around the corner, but we have folks who are parking in the Rite Aid lot to go travel. Our police department has to monitor that. Our police department has to monitor a manual list daily of the parking permits by license plates that are in that lot. Now we'll have an automated system through an already metered lot. So a lot of advantages there where they can spend more time on public safety and traffic concerns rather than looking at a list. So there's a lot of soft benefits there too. And the dollar difference really, yes, there's some for some people, for sure. But the overwhelming majority, it's not that big of a difference. And we are giving a benefit to a lot of other people in town who can now use that spot instead of having to travel to another community to park and pay there. So a lot of pluses and minuses. This is not a decision that the council, the clerk, the administrator made without any thought. So any comment on that? It was thought out. You see we did math. You see we did analysis on all of these things. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I close the council's comments and open up to the public. Anybody from the public would like to comment, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. I'm sorry, not your address, just your name.
No problem.
Sorry.
Magdalena Komendarchuk, and I do have a concern about the lot. We've been here in Waldwick for years. We've been on the waiting list for a year when we first moved in. We commute, both of us, unfortunately, to the city, and we do go 5 days a week. On very rare occasion, it is, 3 days a week. We use the lot constantly throughout the weeks, and for our household, a $250 permit, that is now going to cost us roughly about $1,000 a year. If you commute, even with vacations, that's a lot, and there's no option whatsoever to have the lot divided into half because there is room for it to be divided for parking permits, for an annual basis or 6 months at a time like we just had in the past 6 months. And you're also raising the meter prices. We pay $275 if you want to park right now on the street. You're raising for a 16-hour day to $4 plus the fees of the meter because the app gives you a fee, and also you're extending the hours from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Right now the meters are 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. excluding holidays, and you're including the holidays. So for a resident that is a medium-sized household that has been doing this permit for about 3 years now, it's a very big change for us that we have to adjust our budget to starting in July. So I just want to, and I did write an email, and I did not receive a response. So I just wanted to state that I don't think the council has the best interest of the residents. I understand the fee of $250 is way too low. I'm up for raising the price to $500 like any other, but Allendale, for example, which is again going the other direction of our town, has a $300 for non-resident permit for a whole year. So,
There's some major differences, right? So Allendale has a much bigger lot and can accommodate much more people, so they have a difference there. And, in all due respect, your situation is one. You probably have other people who commute to New York City 1 day a week who cannot use the lot, right? Or can't, because they can't get a permit.
Correct.
Even though the lot is underutilized because it's a third empty every day. So definitely hear your concern and do, but we have to look at all.
I understand, but you're not giving at all options. You're doing a daily parking.
You do have to remember too that we are limited in a lease agreement with the New Jersey Transit on what we can and can't do.
Yeah,
so even if we were to segregate the lot and say some of them are going to be for annual passes, we have no guarantee that you would get one.
Oh, of course, I know.
A different town, somebody from a different area who could get that. So there definitely is pluses and minuses to that.
Of course, but
Kelly, anything to add on that one?
I don't really have anything to add. I mean, the lot, there's several issues. So the people who have passes, they change vehicles, they leave. So we don't know any of those things until it's time to renew. And then, well, I didn't get the email, so then they didn't renew their pass, so then they get a ticket. There's just no way to segregate the lot so that it's fair for everyone. There really isn't. There's just, this is the easiest way that we can maximize that lot.
yeah, but you did it in January. You renewed the passes.
No, we did that knowing we were going to settle with New Jersey Transit. That's why we held that pattern for 6 months. That's why.
Yeah, but also we were not notified about that, ahead of time.
Everyone was notified via email. Melissa was very
No,
diligent.
about the changes after June.
We sent out emails, we sent out mailings, and people called, and we told them what was happening. So.
Yeah, in June.
So I'm not sure why you didn't hear.
No, I have a pass. I was the first one to go in January to make sure I secure my pass for the following 6 months. What I'm saying is, at the time in January, no one said that you are, yes, we were told that you're negotiating with the transit, but no one ever said it's going to be taken away.
No, because we didn't know at that time. We
Okay.
were still negotiating. So we
Okay,
didn't
well,
know
I
that-
would appreciate if the council could put in some for the resident that do commute to the city. And I understand there's should be an increase, but also going from $2.75 to $4, that's a lot of increase for a full day at the parking lot.
It actually isn't.
Well, for myself, it is because of my household budget right now that I have to account, but,
$6, Hohokus is $8.
okay, but we're not in Ramsey, we're not in Hohokus, we're in
We
Waldwick.
could just try to compare us to Allenville.
Yeah, I know, because that's what I was looking for, because they have available permits, so, for me to make sure I could have something reasonable within, not paying $1,000, but paying $300 or $400 for a year, that's why I was looking at the options. Hohokus has no spots available, so, just wanted to make sure, address my opinion, that's what this meeting is for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else? I close the council's, I'm sorry.
Are we allowed to talk about the pilot program, or
No,
this is?
This is just the ordinance.
Oh,
Just the ordinance.
okay, I'll be
On the
back.
public comment, you can talk.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else to talk about this ordinance? If not, I close the public's comments and ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading and that the clerk be authorized to post this notice as required by law. Motion by Mike, second by Joe. Clerk, please take the roll.
Ms. Sarah Drake? Yes. Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Wingate?
Yes.
Clerk, kindly read ordinance number 2026-08.
Ordinance number 2006-08, an ordinance to amend Chapter 48 fees, Section 63-3, Park and Ride in its entirety, and Section 91-12.2, Vehicles and Traffic, paid parking fees to update fees.
Anybody from the council wants to comment? This is part of the first one that we talked about, and it's just everything just moving forward. Anyone else on the council? If not, I close the council's comments. Anybody from the public would like to comment? If not, I close the council's comments, and, I'm sorry?
Public's.
I'm sorry, public's comments. And if no one is saying anything, we will ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading, that the clerk be authorized to advertise it as required by law. Motion and a second by Mike, second by Joe. Clerk, take the roll.
Ms. Sarah Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Wingate?
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Clerk, would kindly read ordinance number 2026-09.
Ordinance number 2026-09, an ordinance to amend Chapter 48 fees, Section 52, Waldwick Junior Police Academy to set fees for 2026 with annual increase thereafter, and Section 65, Police Training Facility, non-participating municipal law enforcement agency use fee to increase the fee.
Anyone from the council like to comment on this ordinance? This is a good summer program that, this is the fourth year in a row, coming in, and it's a good program. There's a lot of young kids from our community that sign up for it, and they learn a lot from the police department especially. Then you have the fire department, you have the ambulance corps, and believe it or not, they come and say hello to me, and hopefully they learn something about that, but we'll see what happens. But it's a good program, and I like that it's moving forward every year. And I want to thank you, Chief, and the police department for allowing this to keep on going.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else from the council? If not, I close the council's comment. Anybody from the public would like to comment? If not, I close the public's comments and ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading, and that the clerk be authorized to post this notice as required. Motion and second by Katie, second by, we'll give it to Angela. By Angela. Clerk, please take the roll.
Ms. Sarah Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Wingate?
Yes.
Okay, we have no introduction of ordinances. Any unfinished business? Anybody from the council? Nope.
I just had one quick thing to say that I forgot. From the Board of Ed meeting yesterday, they did award the Teacher of the Year, so I just want to extend a congratulations to all those teachers, and I have their names right here. So we have Ms. Dozier from the high school, Mrs. Moore from the middle school, Mrs. Cohen from Crescent, and Mrs. Corbix from Chappagan. So congratulations again to them.
Leave me their names so I can send them a little congratulations from the mayor and council.
Okay.
Thank you. Any new business from the council? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to add my congratulations to the class of 2026 for Chappagan and Crescent, graduating from 5th grade to middle school, and the class of 2026 for Waldwick Middle School, going up to the high school, and the high school graduates of the class of 2026. Look forward to seeing you at graduation next week. Thank you.
How do you know they're going to graduate? How do you know they're going to graduate?
Well, those who do.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, I close the council's discussion, and I open up to the public. Anybody from the public would like to comment, please come to the microphone. Just state your name for the record. At this time, you can talk about anything and everything.
I got my steps in. Speaking about the pilot, Laura Litchell, I'm sorry, Laura Litchell. Speaking about the pilot, I just am curious as to why I understand there's scheduling issues, but why it's taking so long. I went to a Board of Education meeting last night, and they're trying to coordinate schedules, and why it's taking so long to speak to the Board of Education while negotiations are underway for the pilot program, non-inclusive of the Board of Education. And do we have any financial implications, or do we have anything that we can present to the public regarding what rate is being negotiated, how much money we'll be getting, when is the pilot going to be beneficial to the residents of Waldwick rather than the developers? Is the developer doing any other pilots anyplace else that we can compare it against? And what's the financial viability of the developer? Because like I said, I've been in Emerson, and I look at an eyesore all day, and I'd hate for that to happen to Waldwick. So I know that's a lot of questions, but
I can give you a few answers to
I'm going
that.
to have to refer things to Joe.
yeah, understood.
I can give you a few answers, Laura. On the Board of Education, we've been trying for 3 weeks. Right, so there's been cancellations, we have a meeting, we were trying to go for this Friday.
Yeah.
But our financial advisor is not available, so we can't have the meeting without him. He's in a conference, he has no one else that can go.
Shouldn't negotiations stop until the board is brought in? Because
The board
from,
does not get to negotiate the pilot program. The
Why?
board- Because it's a council negotiation.
but so we're not benefiting, they're just going to be told what the percentage is that they're going to be getting of the pilot
They get
program?
nothing of the pilot program. The Board of Education gets their tax dollars as always.
And so I'm going to have to, so if there's any special education needs or any other children based upon the rentals in this pilot, my tax dollars are going to go up to support that because the Board of
That's not true.
Education budget is...
That's not correct. So we're going to bring in extra revenue from the pilot program, which will be more than what we would have gotten from traditional tax revenue, which we can pay. The way it doesn't work where it's just 68% of your taxes go to the school. There's a tax levy from the Board of Education that we have to appropriate to them. That calculation is based upon math. If we have additional non-tax revenue that's coming from the pilot, we can use that to pay for the Board of Education payment as well. The Board of Education budget has nothing to do with what's happening in the pilot. It's based upon their budget for the number of kids that they have in their school, for the number of teachers they need, for their health insurance, for whatever else.
But the
They
pilot
set that as
program,
always.
the pilot program's going to bring more children into the, or
So
the
the pilot program-
the rentals are going to bring more
Right,
children.
So we had a presentation on that from Phoenix
Understood.
Advisors when they were here. Their rough estimate based upon Rutgers.
Probably 1.2,
Right, so
1.5
it's like
children.
5 or 6 kids.
Yeah.
Which is actually more than what we actually saw from the station, which had more units.
Okay,
So based upon those math, we feel pretty comfortable about what Phoenix Advisors is saying based upon the studies. Furthermore, you can't control what happens. There's a house that's being built over by me. They have 6 kids in their family.
right?
So
But
that
they're
might
not
be-
part of a pilot program, they're
not part
paying
of the pilot program,
taxes.
But it doesn't matter to, the Board of Education is still going to collect their taxes based upon their budget. It has nothing to do with the pilot program.
Mm-hmm.
Board of Ed will levy their budget based upon teacher salaries, based upon insurance, based upon the cost of school, based upon cost of education. They will levy their budget, and they will give us a bill. And we will pay that bill with our tax revenue and our non-tax revenue.
So if if there's any implication, or if the Board of Education incurs any expenses, they're to bring those expenses to the town, and the town is going to pay for that, is the way you're explaining it to me, that I understand
So
it.
even this, if they brought in 12 new students into the new facility, if there was even one per grade or two per grade, does that mean we have to add another class or another teacher for each one of those grades?
I'm sure they have their ratios, and I'm sure they have.
So there's ratios around everything.
Right.
100 kids can move into town tomorrow. There was also properties that were there already that probably had kids going to school in Waldwick. Those are offset for how many are no longer living there that are being replaced by new residents. So, and I think from the numbers that I saw, actually our enrollment is a little bit down over the last couple of years in number of students that are in Waldwick school system. So I don't know, I'm not privy to the Board of Education budget and how much that's going to impact it, but that is not a burden to every other tax income. Our taxes are always going to go up,
Yeah.
right, because of everything else that happens. But that increase is being offset by the additional income we're bringing in from the pilot program. One of your other questions is when. So once we can get all this approved, get a pilot negotiated, get the construction started, once the buildings are built, right, then they can start renting those units. The proceeds from the percent of revenue that we would get would start to come in. So we have 2-3 years, whatever it is, that before that construction is completed, before we start seeing benefit to us as a borough.
But we're going to run out of the reserves. You said by
That's correct.
2028,
So
we're going to run out of
that's why-
reserves.
That's why
We did negotiate, we are not going to talk about the negotiations, but we are keeping in mind the need for near-term money. That's
But why aren't the figures, or why isn't anything being released to the public regarding the numbers?
Totally understand.
And the terms and the length?
Let's just, can we just take a step back for 1 second? So we are, as I've been saying for a couple years now, the borough has two things happening, right? The first is we need money, right? As you just said, the surplus is dropping down. We're having a hard time here. We also have vacant property on Harrison Ave, right at the corner, right? So we 4 years ago, deemed it an area in need of redevelopment and hoping it was going to spur this economic growth where everyone came in and they said, let's build single-family homes, and we had this dream that we were going to have something that was perfect. And for 5 years, we got garbage. We got apartments only, high density, 6 floors, 7 floors. They were things that were rejected immediately because they would have destroyed our town. We finally got a project where they agreed to first floor commercial. It's not as tall as any of the others. The density wasn't as deep, and there were townhomes, right? So, so we took it seriously. And I think that what we're finding is that nothing will be built there without a pilot. No developer is going to come in that's going to sit vacant for the next 15 years. Meanwhile, we're struggling for money. So we have an opportunity to give incentives for a developer to come in, turn what is $60,000-ish in tax revenue per year to, I don't know what we're going to come up with on the pilot, but let's say several $100,000s a year in tax revenue. So the town
Over how many
will
years?
gain that. If we do nothing, we're going to risk it's going to be vacant for forever, and we're going to be collecting nothing on what is prime real estate in our downtown. I think that we are being very aggressive in the negotiations because we know that because we know that everyone's paying attention, especially. But we also have the best deal for the town. But we're at risk of if we lose this project, we're at risk of like you say, we're running out of money, and this is a huge revenue source for us, and we're at risk of having that property sit vacant.
So you're telling me that pilot program is going to save the taxes of Waldwick? If we negotiate a
It's step in the
30-year
right
pilot?
direction. It's something, right? We raised taxes 10% this year because we're running out of money.
Yeah.
It at least alleviates, which is crazy. Who would have thought 10%? And so here's an alternative revenue source to not have to do that again, hopefully for
But
a while, but I'm sure.
well, at what point does it become burdensome to?
Agreed. And
Waldwick,
no one
and-
here wants to do more, we don't want pilots. We've avoided pilots. We've done projects in town without them.
So,
And, but this is a definite error. This is a different era. I personally don't believe that we will ever have anything on that property, unless the real estate just collapses, because it's just too expensive. And without some tax incentive, nothing will be there. We win as a town if we get this project. We do, because it goes a long way. In addition to the tax increase this year, this goes a long way to plugging a gap which has been growing for the last 7 or 8 years.
we didn't have a pilot on Zazzetti Street, correct?
Yeah, we did not.
So why do we need a pilot?
It's just not financeable. It's just not there's no bank is going to finance, no bank is going to finance a project that loses money.
Is this developer, does he have pilot programs anyplace else? Has he successfully implemented pilot programs anyplace else where he's not going to run out of money and try and negotiate down?
Yeah.
Because he's going to run out of money, which is what's going on in Emerson.
No, listen, I firmly agree with your concern, and I think that we have two things going for us. One, in the redevelopment plan, there are safeguards, right, for this, and before I think we sign anything, there will be a financial due diligence, right? And this is why we've hired this party. But we also have condemnation power on. This is why when we did redevelopment here, we did it right. We have condemnation power. So if we don't like what's happening as a town, we can condemn it, and we can figure out how to solve this problem with it.
That's where lawyers get involved too, and that costs the
It's not
borough.
gonna be cheap, but at least it's safeguard. It won't be Emerson where it just sits there and you have no legal recourse at all.
But has this developer done any other successful pilot programs? I'm sure.
Yeah, they came when they were presenting their project, and they gave us this whole pamphlet of projects that they've done in the area, and with the state, they claim that they work very closely on state-funded projects, and that, the finances are legit, and that they do these projects everywhere. It was a very, very nice presentation, and then after that, I just have to go with our financial consultants and lawyers, that tell us that we've put the right safeguards in place, and that the financial diligence will be done. At least we've been told this will be done, because it's been part
Well,
of.
we've hired professionals that do this for a living, right? Phoenix Advisors does this for a living. We hired a separate redevelopment lawyer, separate from Craig, who's been our counsel. We have Anna, whose only purpose is looking at redevelopment. So part of their job is to look at the financials, make sure it's viable for us as a borough, and that's why we're negotiating very hard. And we can't share negotiation details with public right now because we're in negotiation.
But at one point, it was supposed to go on the ballot. You guys also said something about putting it on a ballot for the people to
I think someone
vote
made a
on.
comment at a council meeting. That doesn't mean that a pilot has to go on the ballot.
No, it does not. It does not have to go on. And I think that there's probably reasons for it to not. I don't think that I'm not a lawyer, but I don't believe it fulfills the bar of going to a referendum. I just don't think we could legally hold that, but I don't know.
And
You as a borough, there is no referendum or initiative powers in a borough form of government.
And there's also something in the state of New Jersey that they're going to vote on, I think it's Friday, about the Board of Education being included. So is that being taken into consideration as well?
Yeah, I mean, the state changes the laws, and when they do, we abide by them, so.
But if we know it's coming, why would we be talking to the Board of Education as a part of the negotiation?
I don't actually think it'll pass.
But, okay, I'm just trying to keep everybody,
Well, I hear you, we do. And we hear a lot of the confusion, we hear a lot of the concern.
I don't think it's confusion on my part. I
Not
just
you,
think that
not you in general, not
the
you.
dais should be talking to the Board of Education because
I think we want to.
That's-
We really want to, very badly, find a time to meet with them.
it's been 3 weeks, guys.
I hear you.
It's been 3 weeks.
We've tried multiple dates.
Yeah.
It's not for lack of trying, and I also want to say something that I've mentioned a lot of times. People can come to meetings once, and then it's like reading a book. You can't read the first chapter and then try to figure out what's going on when you start with like the 6th chapter. Something like this that's really complicated has to be followed. I mean, I sat out there for 6 months before I was elected and listened to everything that was going on.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing, and there's a lot of people who don't do that. You know, so we encourage engagement so that people understand the effort that's being put into what's going on with this pilot negotiation. The effort is there, it's in good faith, the negotiations that are going on, nothing has been decided, but there's also, not everything in a negotiation can be publicly released. So-
And I understand that.
Yeah.
My thing is, you're negotiating for something, if you're negotiating, let's just arbitrarily say, the developer's going to want a 30-year pilot because it's going to benefit him greatly.
Yeah.
We're going to get the payment, et cetera, but who knows what's going to happen to Waldwick in 30 years? You're negotiating for a generation in the future.
That's our
And-
job. Correct.
But you don't know if it's going to benefit, you don't know what the future's going to bring, you don't know if it's going to benefit, you're only here and now to get the developer in. The developer in Zazzetti Street sold, he made his millions, multi-millions, there was no pilot,
Yeah.
and that tax revenue,
How much they pay for the property doesn't change our tax revenue. It's still based upon the assessment. It doesn't make a difference if I pay 1 million or 2 million, it's still based upon the assessed value.
but isn't the assessed value going up over there?
Well, it can, but it's not based upon how much somebody paid for the
No,
property.
I understand that, it's the assessed value of the property, but the assessed
Sure.
value of the property is going to go up because you have a different dwelling there.
And the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right
Yeah.
now, we collect about $60,000 in revenue there.
Yeah.
We're going to collect much more than that in the pilot program than what we would do there.
And when
there's
are-
also percentages in the pilot program that compare the revenue versus what the tax rate is.
And when is that information, when are you looking to have an agreement on the,
We want this to be over. We're not dragging this out for our health, trust me.
no, I believe it, but
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make you look at the whole picture, and I know you're probably looking at the whole picture, but I want to speak for the whole picture, because not only for Waldwick, but the Board of Education, the senior citizens, the disabled people, because if a person, he's going to be conforming those apartments to ADA compliance, et cetera, and now what does the school have to do, because they have a new student, and it's going to cost them the $100,000 for a disabled student? To go to the school or what have you, the costs associated with that. I just want to make sure that we're all, because everybody's trying to cut here and spend here and what
I
have
think
you.
that's what we're
And
trying to protect. We need to bring in more revenue to relieve some of the burden on the Waldwick taxes. We can't raise taxes 10% every year. And
I understand,
unless the
Joe.
state government changes what they're doing with the benefits program and things like that, our costs are going to continue to rise.
I understand, but my point to you is, I'm Team Waldwick.
Yeah.
I'm not Team Council, Team Board of Education, I'm Team Waldwick.
This is for Team Waldwick.
So,
I want nothing
but
more
if
than
it's
to
for
get
Team
as much as
Waldwick, the
possible.
Board of Education really should be involved in some of these negotiations so they can bring their points forward.
In negotiation.
I just think, even if there's a liaison for visibility, just for visibility, just so that they know what's going on and they can present it, because I was at the meeting last night when they were talking about the pilot program, and they know nothing, and they're sitting there, they know nothing, because they're trying to get together for the meetings, I totally understand, but it's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and you both affect our tax base.
The misconception I think a lot of people have when it comes to pilots is there is no impact to the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed will set their budget. If they have, in your example, a $100,000 increase for another student, they will build that into their budget. When they set their budget, they submit that budget to this council pays it. That's it.
Okay.
There's
I just want to be clear.
There's no impact to the Board of Ed whatsoever in regards to the taxes. They
Okay.
set their budget, the council pays it.
Okay, I
That's
just
it.
want to make sure that,
Can I
okay.
say one more thing? We are you guys.
Yeah, of course you are.
Right, we're elected to look at these things to protect the people of Waldwick,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so we want to listen to what you have to say, but we want to also know that we're here to protect the people of Waldwick.
I understand.
And what we're doing. So all the things that you're saying have already been raised. We've raised them all, we're trying to bring the Board of Education, they do not need to be an approval, right? That's what's going through the
They should be
House.
aware. Angela, they should be aware.
That's what's going on.
Trying to do.
That's
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
To bring the Board of Ed so that they're aware. That has been, in good faith, being scheduled, right? So I just feel like, we are you. We are looking out for the town. That's what we were elected to do.
I think that the communication is a little lacking from that
I'm not sure
perspective.
where the communication we can give.
We even adjusted the council committee members to make it work. Ms. Wingate was going to be on the committee to meet with the Board of Education. She was going to be out of town. So we asked Ms. Smith to do it. She agreed, no problem. So we tried to make adjustments and accommodate to make the schedule work. And for whatever reasons, there are multiple reasons, professional reasons or whatnot, we can't get a date on the calendar for over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're coming and questioning, so I'm being transparent and
Oh,
honest
no,
with you.
I appreciate that, I really do.
So I have a meeting anytime, any place. I'm ready to have a meeting. I'll come at night. I took calls for Tatiana 4 times today in the middle of work meetings. I don't care. I want to meet just as bad as anyone. So anytime that everybody's available, I am there to meet. Virtual, phone conference, in person, I don't care. I will meet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but knowing that the Board of Education could possibly have more costs because of the, because of the rental units or what have you, Mr. Basang is saying the Board of Education is going to present their budget here and you guys are going to pay it. But if you don't have that much, if you're not getting that much money, or your taxes are going up, or you have less on reserves or what have you, where's the burden going to fall? And I just want to make sure that we're all looking at that.
Right, so if I sold my house tomorrow and 6 kids moved in with disabilities, the Board of Education would have the same problem
Right.
as if 6 kids moved into the rental unit. They would raise their tax, their budget.
They would raise
and
their
come here
budget, that's right.
And pay.
And you would pay
I wouldn't
it.
be paying any more taxes than the people who bought my house.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be at a deficit, which the rest of the town would have to burden.
Right.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter that it's coming from a new rental unit, or I sold my house, or Katie sold her house. She has no kids in her home, and she sold her house, and 3 kids moved in. Now there's 3 new students going to Crescent School.
Based upon population, you have to increase the fire, or you have to increase the fire department, you have to
Right.
increase the
We've
cops, you have to
also
increase the
had our-
DPW, increase.
Of course, and that's
So-
what we built in when Phoenix did that presentation for us. They
Mm-hmm.
built in those percentages. Worst case scenario, if you had to increase your fire budget, your police budget, whatever, you're still making money on the pilot program,
Mm-hmm.
which is the whole point of this. I mean, and just look at the role of students, right? Our numbers have come down. We're not as bad as Midland Park, thank God, but our numbers have come down in terms of enrollment at school, according to public information. So unless we got 100 new kids, then I don't know, we're getting
Well,
maybe,
you-
maybe every one of those units will bring in 5 kids.
I mean-
Well, I just have to say that I was also at the Board of Education meeting, and Dan had said we had a meeting scheduled for Wednesday. Dan said he couldn't come, which it happens.
Yeah, I
And so we're
understand.
trying to meet Friday, but the professionals can't come. So it's not for lack of time.
That's this week, but it's 3 weeks in the making.
And that's just
So-
an example of what has happened.
I understand.
So there have been many meetings scheduled, and there's many people that have different schedules that can't make it. So
I'm just
we are
trying to raise awareness.
We're
That's it.
absolutely trying to schedule this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And you say that, you're concerned about 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. I am also a Waldwick resident with children, young children that will be in the school for the
Mm-hmm.
next 15 years. So all these questions you're asking are going through my head, absolutely. So if we are not the council, we are representing everyone, including myself, including my children and my family. So I see you have a lot of passion. I hold that same passion, and I want what's best for the town. And we're going to examine all the pieces to this pilot, and if it's not something that's going to be in the best interest of the town, we don't have to do it. So I want you to know that we are trying to meet. It's not happening, and we all have the best interests of the town.
And I respect that, I really do, but you're on the other side and you see what's going on the backside. We don't, because we're not, it's not negotiations or what have you, I totally understand. But there's got to be something that we can, Is it a 5-year, is it a 10-year, is it a 30-year? There's got to be something out there that we can talk about or educate us on or anything.
So when Phoenix came here, they did educate on what.
I understand, I saw the presentation, I truly did. I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about where we are now as a borough.
In regards to the negotiations, we are in negotiations. Nothing can be made public because everything is negotiable. There are a lot of moving parts, and we're not going to put false information out as to where the negotiations stand in regards to certain numbers. We
So,
can't.
I understand, and I understand that you can't. I'm just saying, that's what the questions that we're getting are. I completely understand, and that's why I'm saying, what's the timeline? But if you're making a decision, if you can't get a meeting for the Board of Education and you're making a decision, it doesn't really need to happen because you're negotiating without them present anyway.
So what we wanted to do was educate and bring them into the process, to have the professionals have a session with our Board of Education, to make them feel comfortable about what it meant to them. The same thing that Mr. Basang is saying would be told to them by the professional and by the redevelopment attorney, so that they understand it doesn't have an impact on the
Okay.
Board of Education budget.
Okay.
That's the whole purpose of this. And, the professionals suggested that we have a meeting with the Board of Education. I think Angela also suggested it, so that we can communicate and give them as much information as we can. We can't share negotiated numbers
I
with them
understand.
either.
I understand.
But we can share the process, and we can share what it means to them.
Yeah, I think they know, but we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you.
You think you're anxious to get up?
Hey, I also asked for a meeting.
I think you were out that
For
day.
like 5 years.
Hi, I'm Dan Mara, I'm the board president. I just want to be clear, there was 3 meetings set up, June 5th, June 10th, June 13th. Okay? I had to cancel the 5th and the 10th. I apologize for that. I said it last night, but my family's going to come first. Okay? It's not like we don't want to meet, but, not for nothing, we also have a new superintendent coming. So for her to be involved in something that she's not approved yet, and her start date doesn't start till July 1, she's taking a risk. She could be sued by her district. So maybe we should wait till July 1 now. And we'll set up there, and we'll get dates in July. Okay? That bill, just so you know, our attorney told us today is going to pass.
We'll see.
Well, exactly. We're not there, so I don't know. Everybody can say they're going to vote yes, and that day they vote no. I get it. It's Trenton. But it's still being negotiated, and it's fast-tracked. And I think it's at the budget part now. Secondly, the budget is affected because we're only allowed to go up 2%. We could apply for waivers for health insurance, but that comes to a burden to the taxpayer. Okay? And I want to look and see how many kids are in those houses. I don't think we had any, just so you know.
I'm just taking a guess.
Okay, I'm just saying, I don't want to bash and get into it. We're going to get a meeting done. I apologize for the 2 days. It's my fault. I became a babysitter again. It's just a little hard. All right, I didn't sign up for that. But I don't want to start mudslinging. It's not what we're about.
Yes.
Okay? We all work together. You're asking to get 10 people into a room. 10 people. Okay, we should have been doing this 5 months ago. We knew this day was going to come. Okay, and now we're waiting to graduation week to do this. It's very hard for us. We have other obligations as well. So I don't want to sling. We'll get a meeting set, but to say it's no impact on our budget is not true. That's per our attorney. So we'll talk. I'm going to ask our attorney to come as well now. You're asking us to take advice from your people, and our professionals are telling us different. So now we're in the middle. Okay, but we have no say, so we're at your obligation. I told everybody that last night. We have no say. Whatever you guys say, that's what it is. So to say that you need this meeting, I came to the Phoenix thing. I know how it works, okay? Mr. Frey does more research than anybody on the board. He knows how it works, okay? Our board attorney, I asked him to come. He's going to come to the meeting, probably in August now, because July, it's a little tough because it's 2 weeks away. And we'll go from there. But July 1, we have a new superintendent. She would like to attend. She would like to be part of it, per her request. So that's what we're going to do now.
Dan, I just want to say that that's something that we've been asking for to have this Board of Education meeting that we've been trying to set up, to hear your perspective. That's what we want to know. We want to know the perspective from the board.
We
of
have
Ed.
no say, so my perspective means nothing. It's, you people have to decide what's best for both agencies.
And your perspective means something.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously, tonight, we're being told, no, you negotiate without us. We already started,
Yeah.
okay? And you're saying it doesn't affect the budget. Everything affects budgets.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I haven't said that.
Anyone else?
Jim
This is about
Schultz.
the pilot?
Yes, Jim Schultz. So I'm confused now, because why is this, what is it, 1807 being passed if we can use pilot money to pay for a school budget? Why are they looking to pass this amendment then?
That bill's gonna pass.
Right, the bill that's up now that says you'll be able to use pilot funding for a Board of Education budget. If we can already do that, why are they passing that bill then? Okay, I'm just, okay, no, I'm just, because now I have an idea how you're gonna pay for it, but I'll let you guys.
What's the,
No, I don't, I think you're gonna divert money from somewhere else to pay for the Board of Ed budget. No, because you can't, until the.
There's no money, Jim.
Well, that's another point, which I'll bring up. Now, second of all, I remember a year ago, and Ms. Litchell, thank you for coming. A year ago, we were gonna have open conversations about this pilot. Now, on page 7 of this handbook, that I'm sure you're all aware of, because this state says you need to follow this, there's something called an internal review committee, which I'm guessing Ms. Marnelli, Ms. Smith, you're on this internal review committee, right? Because that's what's set up.
We have a finance committee that's working with the advisors.
Right, but is it it's an internal review committee, because the state says you have an internal review committee.
We have our finance committee who's working with the advisors on the pilot program.
Okay, and on this, it says you can invite anybody you want on this committee. You could have had the president of the Board of Ed in these negotiations. There's nothing that says he can't be in that. And we spoke about this a year ago. Now, outside of Mr. Ritchie saying my taxes won't go up, which thank you for saying that.
Your taxes are gonna go up. They will. They will never not go up. They will maybe go up a little bit less.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that's the reality.
So you can have whoever you want on this committee. You should have had the Board of Ed president.
Why? Who says that?
It says on here, you can pick who you want.
Why is your opinion is that we should have the Board of Education?
No, my opinion is in the handbook
It says
says,
in there that Board of Education president should be on the committee?
it says you can have Board of Ed superintendent can be on it.
Whoever you
Right,
want.
you can. So
You can
why
have
would,
whoever you want.
why wouldn't we have him?
Why would we?
Because I would like him to hear from the very beginning, just like I want to have the police chief, the fire chief, the EMS captain. I want them all to hear how this works. And we said last.
We're educating everyone on how the
No.
pilot program works.
No,
That's
you're
the way it
educated with
works.
people have questions tonight, what's going on? We said a year ago we're going to be transparent.
We have been
No,
transparent.
you haven't.
We can't be transparent on what we're negotiating.
You can be transparent on who you put on the committee. So-
We've told you who's been on the
No,
finance
why
committee
did,
from the day one.
my point is it should have been opened, and we spoke about this a year ago. Open it to people in the community to sit in on the negotiations. There's no reason why they couldn't be on
Concern
it.
about the people on the committee negotiating. Anything in particular?
What I'm worried about is the Board of Ed doesn't know what's going on. Now, we're 2 square miles. You're going to tell me 3 weeks ago that you don't run across each other in town to say, can we meet?
And we just acknowledged that we had 2 meetings set. One as far back as June 5th, it had to get canceled. One, a couple days later, it had to get canceled. We are working actively to try to get something as recent, I think we were trying to get something for tomorrow night, but that didn't work. Friday, that also doesn't work. So Thursday maybe, but I heard tonight that that's not gonna work. But we are, seriously, we are trying very hard to get this meeting set in real time. I mean, I can't believe that I'm spending this much time talking about getting a meeting set throughout my day.
And my only point is if you would have included these people, I'm not saying let them negotiate, but include them in the process so there's a better understanding, or a whole list of people that could have been in this negotiation.
There's a serious problem with including people not on this council, because these are closed session items that cannot be disclosed to the public. And those outside people that are not on this council will not be bound by that.
So can they sign a non-disclosure, a conflict of anything that says I
You've
won't
seen what's
discuss
going
it?
on with non-disclosures and how they're enforceable. I doubt it would fly.
Okay, but you could still do that. My only point is, we spoke a year ago, and I'm going to beat the dead horse again. We were going to be transparent, we were going to have people in the public on this committee, they were going to be involved, and today it doesn't happen. And it's not happening. And honestly, I probably would like a pilot if it's done right, because I think what it does is this pilot could pave the way for the next 3, but the way it's being done now, there has to be a full cost-benefit analysis. I can't wait to see this.
They've already provided a cost-benefit analysis. They came here and did a presentation for the open public. It's recorded, it's on the website.
And it's a full, complete, it shows all the municipal costs,
Yes.
sewer costs, water costs. Okay, then I need to look for it, I apologize.
It's been done months ago.
It's on Constant Contact as a link, it's on the
Okay.
website, it's been there for 6 months, 4
Okay,
months.
then that's my mistake, I apologize, I'll look for it. But again, I think we had an opportunity to include people from the public in this, and we avoided doing it.
He just told
He
you
just
why.
explained why.
I understand, and I understand your concern.
What's different about me, or Mr. Ritchie, or Mr. Brennick, who Mr. Brennick's lived here longer than any of us. I live in this town, I've raised my kids here, I lived in this town for 25 years. Mike is here, he has kids in the school district, school age, not in our school district.
And my wife grew up here, I've been here.
I've been
What's
here
different
for,
about me than you?
I've been here 37 years, and I know nothing more about the pilot program than I found
If I
out
wasn't on
tonight.
the council, I wouldn't know either.
Would you want to know?
I would come to the meeting and ask questions and listen to the presentation.
Okay.
But your way it comes off, Jim,
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
You're accusing, I won't speak for anybody else,
Yep.
of me. I'm not doing my job that I was elected
No,
for.
I'm not.
I'm doing the best I can, to negotiate the best role I can, to the point where we're pushing back constantly on negotiation. We're probably giving our attorney a headache, because we're not being pushovers and taking whatever we're given. So I think
I'm not
we're
accusing, what I'm
working
accusing,
really hard on this.
what I'm accusing you of is what we spoke about a year ago. We were going to involve the public in this, and we didn't.
So we've had open presentations about it to include the public and keep the public informed. We have reasons why the public cannot be on committees to talk about it, for your protection. We're taking advice of counsel. We hired independent people to come in and do the financial advising. It's not me on the back of my notebook figuring out what percentage I can charge. We have people who do this for a living who are doing this. I think we're doing as much due diligence as we possibly can.
That's your opinion, but I disagree. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mikey.
No, I do appreciate your enthusiasm.
I just have one more question, and I want to do a follow-up. You just said you're negotiating, pushing back. If they ain't meeting your number, why are we continuing to negotiate? You should have a set number when we go in there, and that's it. Why are we going under our set number that we went in with?
We're just trying to get as much as we can.
I know, but if you presented a number and they said no, why are we pushing back and saying, okay, we're going to come down for you? We should
Not
have,
going to negotiate in the public realm. Do not.
well, no, I'm just asking a question. Why are we continuing if
Call
you,
a negotiation.
well, you gave them a number, they said no, right? So why are we negotiating down? I would negotiate
I
up.
have no idea which way anything is being negotiated.
Don't read into that way,
Okay.
please.
Many moving parts to this.
You just said you're pushing back. That means it's no.
It doesn't mean that.
Anybody else from the
But you're
public?
going to push back on a yes?
Anybody else from the public would like to comment on anything?
Is this about the pilot?
Chuck Wanamaker, World Community Alliance. Just want to let you know how successful our car show went. All because of you guys, of course, and this man back there, the chief of police and the police department and the ambulance. It means a lot that people see it. I know after 18 years of doing it, they see it, and it's like, it's really, it opens their eyes, say, holy mackerel, this little town sticks together. So I just want to let you know a good note. And what we're going to ask of you next is, can we get New Jersey Transit online about what's coming down the pike? And the reason why I want to say this is that they don't know what giving back is all about. We give back. I've given back 20 years of my life to do things there. Downs Tree Service brings a crane that's worth about $300,000 to fly a flag for a little car show that nobody knows hardly anything about. And Paul Moore with his, we couldn't afford that. This is all stuff the guys were doing for giving back. Now, I'm kind of laughing, I gotta laugh. It sounds like New Jersey Transit giving back. We put that building together for them, not for us so much. The building to make the New Jersey Transit look good. Now they're gonna make us pay to park there? I mean, for 2 hours or whatever we end up using it for? It just doesn't make sense. I think they gotta give back a little bit somehow if we could do it. I don't know if that's possible, of course. It's probably trying to have a better chance of seeing God, of course, but maybe, just maybe.
Tatiana and Kelly are working on everything. They will reach out to you, like I said they would.
Yeah.
Right now, Tatiana is taking care of some stuff, so she's going to reach out to you. And we are working on things that will benefit the residents.
Yeah, because you gotta look at the fact, like the VFW, they've used that parking lot from day one, because there never was any spots for parking. Do we take it over, we made it better for the vets, so ever have a better place, we put an elevator in there for the handicap, which it never had, so they could get the handicapped people in, and now they're gonna make them pay to come and use the VFW? That just doesn't make sense. I mean, if we could do something with maybe get the, I don't know, I'm not sure what we can do, that's what I'm asking if there's possibility.
Everything. I reached out to them, I spoke to them as we talked.
Okay.
They know what's going on, so give them some time and they will take care of it.
You know, I'm just blabbering because I figure you hear stuff, you want to let yourself be exposed to know what you're hearing. I don't know what they're going to do, but I only hear they're asking for money. It's usually what's going to happen. It puts a dent on a lot of stuff, but they should realize that building gets used for people that need the help, and we know what we're talking about, the Sunday night, and Tuesday night, and the Thursday night. They're there for help, and we're, so, you know, just asking. But anyway, thanks for the communication. The chief and the ambulance corps, it works. And you guys, and of course you guys were there too. So you see, a little town that had nothing going for it, we got a lot going for us. We got a lot going for us. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, we do.
Good evening, everybody. Joanne Mitchell. I have a question about the pedestrian crossing right out here on Prospect Street by the library. As we all know, that's an east-west exposure, and we have the lovely signs which have the tiny little lights on them, which are virtually invisible. Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. Can we improve the lighting on those signs so that they are visible to the oncoming traffic? I will say anecdotally, because I spend a lot of time at our library, as you all know, I spend a lot of time at that crossing. And there have been times where half of the traffic stops and the other half does not. And with the lighting as it is not as effective in keeping the pedestrians safe.
I will reach out to our administrator, and she will reach out to our police chief, and they will discuss this, and we will figure out something for you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on, help her up, Gino.
Teamwork.
Yes. We have to come together.
I'm glad the chief is here, though. He'll have
Yes,
good stuff.
hi, Esther and Gino Moralia, and
Harrison.
on Harrison Ave. I want to thank Chuck and the Alliance for doing a wonderful job with that car show. I never got so many compliments of people coming and going, how nice this town is, and how much they love the car show. So that's that. So thank you, Chuck, for everything. Okay, that's
It's not as complicated as the rest of them, but it's real to the point. Harrison Avenue used to be a peaceful street. Since they opened up the new place there. With
the asphalt company.
Asphalt, and the other place was the cars.
Yeah, the auto body.
But I count the other day 17 trucks going through there.
With stuff on it. I mean, a pickup truck went by with all kinds of material flying down the street.
Every
flying.
day, every
My
day.
ring camera picks them all up. A white and green truck, an auto part truck goes flying down the street. I mean, it's just, we could just about get out of our driveway.
No, the reason is it should not be.
Yeah.
It was a dead-end street when she lived there, she still's there. And it should be that quiet. Not that I'm out there watering there. I said, well, big truck, little truck, it's ridiculous. And then we eat breakfast, the Ring camera. You can't enjoy it anymore. You know, where's the beauty of Harrison Avenue? It used to be one of the most beautiful streets. That's what they told me. I didn't know. Lawyers, doctors used to.
It was nice.
You know, I think we should bring it back. You know, we sign, the trade group sign, maybe when they go there, put sign there, no trucks here. And then at the beginning, no trucks there. And they still do it. I know you guys do a great job. Maybe you have to see somebody there and give a couple of fines. I go down like this, a few times, I almost got killed. I did, Mr. Good. I said, the other day, the guy goes, tonight, come on, afterwards, what are you doing? I said, the guy, no, you don't belong here, you gotta go right that way.
Probably.
I just want to bring,
Maybe you should deputize Gino.
Yes, maybe, yeah.
Traffic officer.
No, is there something that you can do, so?
oh, no, it should be brought to,
You got it.
it should be brought.
When I come to a meeting, you go after.
We've had an influx of trucks with the newer business that opened in the
Oh,
corner.
God.
On Houston. Houston is a dedicated truck route for vehicles. in
Yeah.
there. I think it might be easier for them to exit the lot and go out on Harrison. But we've spoken to the owner of that property already.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
speak to him again.
All
And we'll
right.
get some enforcement.
Yeah, and the auto body
At that time.
place.
And the auto body, oh my God, the trucks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
3
and
o'clock in the morning,
when you see this-
they drop the
Sorry,
car.
when you see this, you can call us.
Okay.
Anytime. Don't jump in front of the car.
No, okay, no.
Don't jump in front of the car.
We're gonna get you a lethal and a hat.
Thank you. Okay, that's good, thank you.
That was smiled, it was not nothing much. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, I make a motion to go into close. Motion by Joe, second by Courtney.